Hi Karen, thanks for joining me for this interview. So Karen is currently the chair of CMSUK, and I've wanted to do this interview just specifically to ask about Karen's role at CMSUK and some broader issues around case management and in particular the work of CMSUK. So Karen, could you start by just telling us how long you've been the chair at CMSUK?
Yeah, I've been involved with CMS UK now for about 6 years, and I became chair in 2018, I think.
Great. And if you could, there may be people watching that don't know much about the organisation. So just firstly, tell us what it stands for. Perhaps you should have started with that, and tell us a little bit about the work of the organisation as well.
Yeah, CMS UK, or the Case Management Society of United Kingdom, is a membership organisation which has for many years been providing support and training to its members. It's developed a voice over the years and tried to represent the views of the membership in industry related to areas such as relevant working parties and committees. So for example, codes of practice, things like the Rehab Code, organisations such as the United Kingdom Rehab Council, when that was going, CMS UK tended to have a voice and representation within those sort of areas. And I think as the case management industry has matured, so have the membership organisations that support it, and obviously including CMS UK. As a non-profit organisation, we're reliant upon membership fees and our relationship with supporters and sponsors. And I think one difference for us is that our membership is very broad. So we cover all sectors, such as independent practitioners working within the medical legal type arenas, through to NHS practitioners as well. The hope is that that will broaden further, and part of our strategic planning process, which we've recently updated, is about reflecting the changing role now that the Institute of Registered Case Managers has been established.
Okay, that's great. Thanks, Karen. So could you tell us about a current hot topic then within the world of case management, something that's very, very relevant to all case managers at the moment?
Yeah, well, I think there's two at the moment. One is the CQC registration and the recent correspondence which CMS UK and Babicum have entered into jointly with CQC, and really I think that's caused quite a lot of confusion in some ways. CQC has been around for many years, as we all know, and I think a lot of us have tried to register but been told we don't need to because we don't meet their standards or regulatory requirements. And then it was felt, and over many years, I think all of our members across all of the organisations have said, well, come on, why can't we get a straight answer? Do we or do we not have to register? So that was what myself and Angela Kerr, the chair of Babicum, took on to actually try and once and for all get a response from CQC. And although they have written to us, they still aren't giving us a definitive answer. And I think the important thing is that it's still very much into the individual case manager or case management firm to decide whether, if they are undertaking regulated activity, then they need to be registered. And that's the bottom line. What we're hearing from our membership is a lot of organisations and case managers, independent case managers, are contacting CQC and still being told you don't need to register. So we are continually trying to support those members, either by putting them in touch with the key people within the CQC, and obviously in Wales, this applies in the Care Inspectorate Wales as well, who are having the same difficulties and issues. So supporting our members in the best way that we can with that. And as membership organisations, we're not telling case managers you have to register. We're saying read the guidance, read the letter, And if you are conducting regulated activity, then what that is saying is you should be registered.
Great. Thanks, Karen. I know it's an extremely complex issue that's rumbled on for many years, and very difficult for you to sum up in a nutshell in a 5-minute interview. But I think that's given us a good sort of signpost anyway, at least. So finally, just to ask you about how you might see the future of case management, a big question, but what do you think might be the more sort of relevant topics or the key issues for individual case managers and the world of case management over the next few years?
I think for me, it's the other hot topic, if you like. You asked me the previous question about hot topics, and I said there were two. I think the other one for me is the regulation of case management and the Institute of Registered Case Managers, which has now been established. And I think for those people that have been around a long time, there's always been debate, from whether it be from commissioners, whether it be within the industry itself, in terms of when will case management become a profession within its own right? Does it need to be a profession within its own right? How do we regulate people? How do we give commissioners of case management services some reassurance that actually this is a set of expectations or a kite mark or some sort of validation of what we do and the professional approach that we take. And it's been rumbling for many years. So BABIC and VRA and CMSUK have been working jointly, probably for about 8 years now, in terms of trying to crack this nut, really, because all members in all three organisations want something sorted. But the first thing we've got to do is there's no point as all three fighting over who does it, because actually we're stronger together than we are separately. And many of our members cross over in terms of the membership. So I'm a member of Babicum as well as CMSUK. So we've been doing a lot of that work to bring the Institute to fruition, or regulation to fruition. So there is a working group. We've established things like business standards, technical standards, ethical standards, and we will be working with the Professional Standards Authority in terms of how we become a regulatory body. And that the formal launch should occur in 2021, hopefully.
That's great. So the idea is that becomes a regulatory body, which for anyone who wants to practice as a case manager, they'll have to be a member of that, which hopefully gives service users, a referrer, or to case management services, somebody that uses case management services, some sort of guarantee that they're getting somebody that's a member of that organisation as therefore being sort of vetted by them as such.
Yeah, and it's about giving the organisation will have some teeth. So actually, if there is somebody who is not practicing appropriately, then they will be able to be reported to the Institute. The Professional Standards Authority is the organisation that sits behind the 9 existing health and social care organisations, so HCPC, NMC, etc. Okay. So it monitors the register and how we as an organisation, the Institute, would put people onto the register, or in the event of poor practice, take somebody off. And the idea would be that if you're registered with HCPC, for example, if you come off our register, we would have a duty to also let HCPC know, so you would come off their register as well, yeah. And vice versa. But obviously there's a lot of groundwork to be done around that at the moment.
Great, thanks, Karen. In the interest of keeping the video short, I think we'll bring that to an end. But obviously the CQC and the Institute are huge topics, so I'll make sure I put CMSUK details at the end of the video so people can at least have a look at the website, and maybe it's something we'll follow up on again at some point. But thanks very much for that, Karen. It's been really useful.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks.